and welcome to today's Creative Care for Caregivers very first session, a heart-to-heart connection craft. I'm really excited with this idea and this motivation to provide something solely for caregivers. As a caregiver myself, I'm always extending my energy toward my son Liam, who has autism and is 16. And I can relate to the overwhelm and exhaustion that can come from just giving to an extent that is beyond the normal giving standards. And that is sometimes the life of a caregiver. It is the calling of a caregiver to learn how to give in amazing ways and to find balance and stability while doing so. So my goal for this session is to help you build a heart-to-heart connection with your child, recognizing the heart-to-heart connection you already have, and nurturing a greater sense that you can continue to grow that connection. And that is truly the connection that will result in the progress and in the joy you and your family experience. It is not a list and an agenda of things that someone else gives us and says, here are the ways you help an autistic person. It is tuning into what your individual, unique child needs and being that person, rising, becoming what your child needs because you've tuned into their heart. And it's an amazing gift for you and for me to get that privilege with our children. So I am going to tip the camera so you can see my project as I create it, but you will need pencil, colored pencils. I have a big bin of all my colored pencils here, and some markers if you have them on hand. I have some alcohol markers I purchased recently. And we are going to create this craft with a lot of choices, so you're going to be choosing some colors and designs. And I wasn't really allowed to plan very much, so I have a vague idea of what I'm supposed to do, but Spirit really wanted me to get into heart energy while I led this, so my planning was very minimal. Okay, I'm going to bend this down so we can see my page, and you'll be hearing my voice throughout this project. So first, I don't know if anyone has seen the post where the actual heart of a human is a vortex, and it kind of describes this like a vortex turned in on itself, which is a beautiful imagery. And we are going to be drawing regular hearts, but I want to make vortexes inside them. So I'm going to go ahead and begin like I'm making a tornado. I'm going to use my regular pencil here, and I'm going to start on the, let's see, this is the left side of the page because there's going to be another heart here on the right side. So on the left side of the page, let's start making a vortex, kind of big at the top and coming down. And I'm going to make two of these, kind of interconnecting. And I will show you what I've made. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make a similar one on this side. Now it's not going to be exact, and that's the idea. We're letting our hand go, but it's going to be about the same size. It's important that you make it about the same, and I'll explain why. Everything in this craft is going to have a symbol to it. Okay, so I've made my two vortexes consisting of 4, and now I'm going to sketch hearts around, and sketching means you hold the pencil lightly to try to get that form that you don't have to worry about it being too precise, because we might be able to erase our pencil lines eventually. So we're creating 2 hearts here, freehand, with vortexes inside of them, pretty similar in size and shape, and just sketching to the best of your ability. Hopefully my lighting can show up for these. All right, so one is going to represent you, and one represents your neurodivergent child, or I want to even say a child or a person in your care. Maybe you're a guardian, or they're an adopted child that still is a child. So I want to make sure you can connect with that person, whether they're your child or you're just the caregiver that's assigned for them in their life. Okay, so the next step is we're going to add some color here. And for yourself, I want you to pick 2 colors that you perhaps enjoy. I'm finding my purple and my orange come to mind. And you're basically going to cover over the pencil with the color. And as long as these aren't erasable, colored pencils, we'll be able to erase these lines. So I put the purple over, and now I'm gently erasing the pencil lines behind. It just gives them more clean look, I would say, if you can accomplish that. And then I want you to think about your loved one. Are there colors that they're drawn to, that they really enjoy, that you know? My son really loves teal. He chose teal for his bedroom. And he also likes red. When given a choice, he will choose red things. So I'm going to use teal and red here for Liam. I'm going to kind of trace over the lines without needing to be perfect. And then go ahead and erase the pencil lines underneath. Now I do want you to find a green, because we are going to outline both of the hearts in the same color, and that is green for the heart chakra. So go ahead, just like you had sketched the pencil, sketch a green around each heart. And one thing we recognize as we created 2 different hearts, we recognize first that on the heart-to-heart level, we are equals. If you notice, we didn't make one heart bigger, one heart smaller. We are honoring the quality that we express and enjoy in the heart field, in the higher dimensional field. All right, so, and we're honoring the fact that heart energy is green, even though the individual preferences of the inside vortexes are different. So after you've sketched your green, go ahead and erase the sketch marks of your heart carefully. If you want to, you don't even have to. If you don't mind them there, you can keep them there. I'm going to make it look a little clean here. All right, so now we're going to get into creating some frequencies with different colors. And as we do this, we're going to be honoring that we experience energy differently. So you might experience an energy that your son doesn't experience, or your child might experience an energy that you don't experience. So let's right now remember the differences that we do possess that make us unique as individuals. We're honoring 2 separate spaces, and we're going to make different frequencies that go through one and bounce off the other. Okay, so let me get this orange color. You can start anywhere on this side, and if this one goes through your heart, I want it to come to the edge of the other and bounce off. All right, I'm going to make this a little darker so I can hold it up and we can see. So if it goes through one heart, let's have it bounce off the other. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so that's just one frequency. And let's think about this for instance. Maybe you're not troubled by sensory stimuli like extra light and noise, but your child is, right? So I'm making another one. This frequency is going to go through my son's heart, but bounce off mine. Okay, and we're going to keep adding these, and they're going to kind of intersect. I want you to add at least 3 coming from different directions. that goes through one and bounces off the other. And just keep them kind of waving like a line of frequency. Here's one that's going to go through me and come over and bounce off my son. And one more that goes through me and bounces off my son. So as you'll start to see, it'll get a little bit like chaos, right? Let's just call it what it is. You want to create a little bit of chaos in your artwork, representing how the different energy may affect one of you and not affect the other. All right, now I want you to find a pink cord, and not pink cord, but we're going to make a cord with this pink, okay? Pink is the color of the higher heart. It could be a darker pink too if you want, as opposed to a light pink. I'm going to see if I can find a pink that will really show up well. Let's try this one. All right, now for this. This is going to be a heartbeat line that goes through your hearts. And I think the best place to kind of do it for mine, it's going to probably be toward the lower end of the heart, but it could also be right across the center. So if you remember what a heartbeat line looks like, I'm going to get my pencil for this. Where did my pencil go? A heartbeat line goes up and then down and comes back to a center. So if I can find my regular pencil, I'm going to explore drawing that first before I go ahead and solidify it with my colored pencil. So straight across, up, down, up, straight across, up, down, up, straight across, up, down, up, straight across, up, down, up. Okay, so I ended up making about 4. And that needs to go completely across your page, through the hearts, through everything. And this is going to be the biggest kind of line we make. So I want you to kind of make it very, very bold with the pink. And this is basically the way that you're connecting with your child through all these variations. There's all these different energies that he or she experience, and yet the heart energy can be a strong cord, a strong transportation channel where you can clearly hear and sense what your child needs at a heart level. Okay, it's not heart level doesn't just mean what they need physically. It might mean emotionally, sensory, experientially. So create that very thick across like a heartbeat. And then if you have markers, this is where we're going to be adding a little bit of color to this. Because when I'm connecting to my son and to his heart, I start to get different kind of sensations. They're not always the same. Sometimes it's his joy, sometimes it's pain. It can be different. So let's outline this, or just follow it up with a color that represents, perhaps this is when Liam is expressing his creativity to me, because it's orange, and that often relates to creativity for us. And then let me do a blue. When he's feeling the dis-ease of life, or not completely regulated in his body, I'm going to put this on the bottom. That might mean I start receiving that. And then that's information that helps me decide what the best course of action might be. Sometimes it's nothing. My son just needs to process what he's going through, And I'm just a space that says, I hear you, I'm here, I'm holding space for your energy to kind of detox. And now what I'm noticing is the hearts don't look too big right now, so we're going to expand them, because as we connect to our loved ones, we experience expanded heart energy. So just kind of sketch that green and just expand it. Sometimes you're connecting to your child and you'll get a very clear message of what they need. A certain place, a person, a different diet, a supplement. Sometimes you will hear very, very clearly, and sometimes you more get a sensation of something that might be needed. And clarity will come in time. So I'm just making these hearts more expanded. As we're connecting with this heart energy, we're imagining our hearts truly are expanding like so. Okay. So I feel like this is almost complete, but there's one more thing we have to add. In order for us to connect to our child's heart energy, we have to be really connected to divine source. So we're going to have to represent some way that both of these hearts are connected to divine source, and that is what's actually enabling us to connect to one another. So let me think for a second, because this isn't something that I planned. It's just coming to me in the moment. I'm thinking of a very bright color, like a yellow. Those are very pale. Okay. And now we need to connect this with a thick yellow line between the two of them. And the line needs to extend off the page. And this needs to be thicker than the heart line. Basically going through. Yeah, let's actually put it through the heart. But let's have it thick on the outside. So let me show you how I did. I made a thick yellow line. This is like representing divine love and energy. And then we're going to just color it in the background of our vortexes. So just lightly color in the heart with the yellow, and it goes through everything. So a light colored. So you could choose like orange or yellow. I think really bright colors are good here to represent the divine. And here we are connected. All right. So I'll explain some of the symbology here that I created today. And this is something that you can repeat and really, you know, I'm talking a lot, but you could put on some music and get into the energy, connecting to your child or loved one's heart in a very meditative way. This is something you can repeat anytime you're feeling disconnected as well. So the first thing I did was draw the vortexes that represent our dynamic energy of our heart. And then we sketched the outline of the heart. We made sure they were the same size because we're equal in the playing field of heart energy. And then we created some frequencies that went either through one heart and ricocheted off the other, representing that sometimes we're impacted very differently by the energies of the world, and we're honoring that by showing that kind of concept. The next thing I did was I made the thick heart beat across the hearts. Mine was kind of towards the lower end. Yours could have been a little higher if you wanted to. I'm glad I did mine kind of lower because then the divine line worked out perfectly. So that was kind of an intuitive choice I made. And then I represented the line really thick with pink, the high heart energy. And then maybe some of the information I might get is more positive, and some of the information I might get from my son is more dense and something to process. And then I felt that need to connect us to the divine. So I do the yellow across and colored us in. So you can give me some feedback on what you think about this and how you connect to the heart of your loved one. I am very curious to know if this craft helped you or if you have any other practices that you follow. All right, thanks for being with me today, and I'll see you guys in 2 weeks.